And here we go. Welcome back to the Alchemist Nation podcast. My name is Walter Amorello, and I get the pleasure to travel all across the country and speak to the greatest investors in real estate and other entrepreneurial endeavors. Today, I am with Rod Khleif. He is the king of Multifamily Mastery. Rod, welcome to the show, brother.
Hey, brother. Good to see you again, my friend. Looking forward to your event in October, and we're gonna knock it out of the freaking park then. And let's have some fun today, man.
So 100 Millionaire Summit, Rod Khleif, obviously a multi-millionaire. It only made sense. Let's get him as a headliner. He'll be speaking at the 100 Millionaire Summit. So Rod, more importantly, right now, there is something that's happening in the market. There is inflation becoming deflation, hyperinflation becoming hyperdeflation. You've got to be able to understand this better than anybody because you're in multifamily. You're in the big multifamily stuff. So what do you see on the horizon? I want to talk to you about like your real awareness.
Yeah, well, I got to tell you, I host a mastermind. It's pretty much the largest of its type. We've got about 16 billion in assets represented by the members. And we met in Houston 2 weeks ago, and there was about 6 billion represented there at that event. And there was a lot of discourse about what's happening in the market right now. And, I'm much more bearish than some of the guys in the group. I actually think that's going to be a big crash. I mean, Warren Buffett says it's going to be a big crash. Robert Kiyosaki said it's going to be bigger than 08 and 9. Elon Musk says it's going to be a big crash. So those guys are smarter than I am. But, I believe with what's happening with inflation, the Fed raising the interest rates another 5 times. The interest rates have doubled in the last 90 days. Real estate's going to grind to a halt. People are not going to be able to refinance out of their deals in the commercial multifamily space. And I'll explain why I think a lot of deals are going to go south. But is this a time to get scared? No. Like Warren Buffett said, be fearful when others are greedy. And there's been a tremendous amount of greedy these last few years. I've been in best and final on deals, where it's like a mini auction process at the end. And I'm like, it's sold for what? Or they get free money? How the hell did that happen? There's no way those investors are going to get their returns, and hopefully they don't lose their capital. And I've seen offering memorandums from operators trying to syndicate deals, and I'm looking at their pro forma, and they're projecting doubling the rents the first year and then 10-year increases every year after that. Really? No, that ain't going to happen. Okay. And so, a lot of these deals are going to have trouble, but here's the big problem is the overuse of bridge debt. So what bridge debt is kind of like the single family equivalent of hard money lending. Okay. Bridge lenders like hard money lending, short-term debt, high interest rates, not a lot of prepayment penalties so you can refinance out. And bridge debt was originally put out there to bridge the gap between, let's say you've got an asset that's not stabilized. It's not 90% occupied for 90 days, which is what Fannie and Freddie Mac require to get conforming loans, or it needs a lot of work. So you would get a bridge debt to get it fixed up, get it occupied, and then you'd refinance it with conforming debt, right? Well, first of all, a lot of these, a couple of years ago, these people didn't buy rate caps. And they are going to be in trouble. Now they've insisted on rate caps the last 6 months. In fact, we were looking at a $44 million deal in Sarasota. And the rate cap, just to keep the interest rate from going up more than 2 points, was $1 million. Okay. That's just insanity with these rate caps. But see, these guys that got this bridge debt, they were using it because they could borrow more money. Okay. Fannie and Freddie got smart and they were only loaning like at 50 to 60%, not even 60, 50, 55% loan to value for quite a while recently. And so operators will go with bridge debt because they could get 75% loan to cost, meaning that they could finance the fix up, the CapEx. And and banking on these big rent increases. And I've got to tell you, I think there's going to be a lot of problems for these guys. And so additionally, they didn't, you've got to factor when you do your pro forma, what's your interest rate going to be on the takeout financing when you're going to refinance out of this bridge debt. And I know a lot of these guys were super aggressive on what they thought the interest rates would be on the takeout financing. And here's the problem with that. To be able to refinance, you've got to meet debt service coverage requirements, meaning the property's ability to service the debt's got to be there. And, and if the interest rate's higher than they anticipated, they may not be able to refinance. So again, I know I've threw a lot of technical stuff out here, but I really believe that what's hitting the fan here soon. And so, The other thing is, I don't think the Fed's interest rate increases are gonna stop inflation. I think we're gonna have stagflation, because the inflation is because there's so much freaking money out there right now. It's just crazy. You can't print trillions and trillions of dollars and expect it not to cause inflation. I mean, it's the dumbest shit ever. Excuse me, but it's just crazy what they've done. And you want to amplify the crazy. I just read an article that they're pretty sure they're going to need to print more money in September just to pay the debt on the 30 trillion that we owe to other countries. So, I mean, it's just going to build on itself. So it could really be a lot bigger than people think. Now, is it a time to get scared? No, it's a time to get super freaking excited. Okay. Because deals are coming. Everything's going on sale. So here's what you do. First of all, get lean and mean. Okay. I unfortunately had to lay off a few people just in the last couple of weeks, and I'm because I'm getting lean, because I know it's coming, and I helped them, and I didn't cut their legs out from under them or anything like that, and they're going to contract work with me. But the point is, get lean and mean. You conserve as much cash as possible. I mean, we've got a lot of money, but I told my wife we're not spending money right now. So we've agreed we're not spending money right now. So that's the second thing. And get educated in whatever vehicle you're going to use to capitalize on this. If it's multifamily, for God's sakes, come to my boot camp in Denver. It's July 29th, 30th, and 31st. And the ticket's going up to $700 here in a little bit, but you can come for $197, okay, for 3 days of training. And it's not a sales pitch. It's drinking through a freaking fire hose. But here's the thing. If you're going to try to learn this business once the crash happens, it's going to be too late, okay? It's going to be too late to capitalize on it, because in my business, you got to have relationships. You got to build those relationships. Yeah. And there should be 700 or 800 people in Orlando. So plenty of opportunity to build relationships. But you've also got to, learn how to evaluate a deal, underwrite it, do the due diligence. We teach all of that. And so, and again, if you're trying to learn this in the thick of the recession, it's going to be too late. But guys, I mean, economists are saying this could be the greatest transfer of wealth in our lifetimes. Okay. And so this isn't me talking. Like I said, Robert Kiyosaki, owner, Rich Dad, Poor Dad guy, says it's going to be bigger than 08 and 9. Elon Musk, richest guy on the planet, says it's going to be big. So again, this is not me talking. Now, of course, a lot of real estate operators will tell you, no, it's just going to be a blip. And they have some good metrics to back that up, because there is a big housing demand, and employment right now is okay. It's good, but I don't think it's going to stay that way. Okay. So again, if you're interested in this multifamily business, come to my boot camp, and we teach everything from building a team, to picking a market, to evaluating the market, to finding all the deals you need to find, to raising all the money you need for your deals, to financing them, syndicating them, joint ventures, evaluating them properly, due diligence, property management. And of course, if you know me, I don't know if you listen to my podcast called Lifetime Cash Flow. We just broke 13 million downloads, which I'm super proud of. We had our 700th episode a couple weeks ago. And so, if you listen there, you'll know that I talk about mindset a lot, because I really believe 80 to 90% of your success is your mindset. Only 10 to 20% is the real estate stuff. Really, it's taking action with what you learn. And so you come to my event, you will laugh, you will cry. I promise you, it's not like your typical real estate event, and you will be so freaking juiced, you'll be coming out of your skin by the end of it, which is the reason my students are so successful. My coaching students alone are at about 70,000 units owned, and I've been teaching less than 5 years. So, that doesn't even account the boot camp attendees. So the point is, if you're interested in my business, multifamily, get your butt to Denver. I mean, Denver's United's hub. You can fly there nonstop from anywhere, cheap. And the hotels around this venue are very reasonable. So, it's really a time thing, because the $197 is truly a no-brainer. But here's how you get that price. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that. Text the word ROD to 72345, and then remember the code Rod Friend. Okay. If you forget and you DM me on any social, we'll hook you up. Cause like I said, the price is going up to 700. It's double the 197 now, or about double. So, but 197 plus it comes with some awesome freaking bonuses right now. So, they're worth 10 times the 197 price alone.
What's that number again, Rod? That was
text ROD to 72345. Okay. ROD to 72345. And then remember the code Rod Friend. And I promise you will be glad you came. If you come, At the end of the 3 days, you tell me you didn't love it, I'll give you your money back. I don't mean like it. I mean freaking love it. Okay, I'll give you your money back. It's never happened, but there's a first time for everything. You get a survey after you come, and the only complaint we ever get is the food sucked or the room was too cold or something like that. It's never about the content. But yeah, it's a blast, and you'll be armed to take advantage of what's coming, and literally build legacy wealth for yourself, your kids, their kids, their kids. I mean, that's what's coming, guys. And I don't say that lightly. If you know my story, I lost $50 million in 2008-9. I got crushed by that wave in 2008-9. I'm surfing this wave. Okay. And I was hiding under a rock, or otherwise I would have capitalized back then. I lost it all. And I was just reeling from that, or I would have capitalized on the 08-09 crash. It's interesting. If you listen to my podcast, you start to hear a pattern. The people that have, 5, 6, 7,000 doors all started in 2009, 2010, 2011, and 2012. That's what we call a clue. Okay. Yep. So that's coming again. Anyway. Yeah. So
yeah, Rod, I love it. I want to unpack some of that a little bit. So
sure.
When you say multifamily, it scares a lot of people immediately. They're just like, oh man, that's a big deal. When you say syndication, that scares a lot of people immediately. And I've been spending a lot of time with Vinny Chopra, who's in the same space. And Vinny has, the biggest admiration for what you're doing, because you're teaching people what he believes is the easiest way to build wealth. Because syndication means you can actually raise capital from people who don't have a ton of capital. Right. With doing normal partnerships, you'd actually have to get somebody who has $700,000 to buy that deal, or $500,000 to buy that deal. But with syndication, you can find somebody who only has $50,000. Right. That is liquid, that they're willing to invest with you now.
Yeah, I'll tell you something. We actually, in the last year, with my new partner Scott, who's been with me about a year and a half, we've only bought one asset, 296 units in San Antonio. But that asset broke even day one at 41% vacant, 59% occupied. That's how conservative I am. Well, in the last week, I put 2 properties under contract. Okay. A $7 million deal in Hot Springs, Arkansas for less than $51,000 a door, with a Starbucks right down the road, and Kroger. And I mean, not the hood. I mean, area that's really turned around, screaming deal. And then I've got one in Nashville, which is just a gorgeous property that we just put under contract as well. So this has all just happened. In fact, if you're accredited, text partner to 72345, and you'll be on the list once we present those. We haven't even presented them. In fact, the first time I've mentioned them here publicly. So no, that's not true, because I did a due diligence thing at the one in Hot Springs on Facebook. But the point is, text partner to 72345 if you're an accredited investor and you have an interest in taking a look at it. But again, this is the first time in a year and a half that I've bought another deal, because the market has been insane. Well, now it's getting back to normal, and got 2 screaming deals in 1 week, which is just crazy. But
and I know, like at your boot camps, I've not been to your boot camp once. I've been to your boot camp 3 times, twice virtually, wow. Once in Florida.
Wow, I didn't know that much. Wow.
Oh yeah, no, because I get something every time.
Right.
And I love when you break down your deals, right? When you share the deals you're working on, and you break down a deal and give investors the opportunity. Yes, definitely, if you're an accredited investor, it's a great opportunity to kind of see how to evaluate these things. Go ahead.
Right. Well, what I want to say is, yes, these deals take money, but it doesn't have to be your own money. And I teach you how to do that. Okay. I'm going to tell you, and what's coming, finding the deals isn't going to be the problem. It's going to be finding the money. And I'm going to teach you how to do that, how to talk to your investors so they're not hiding in fear when this happens. Okay. Because if you have access to money, you're going to be able to capitalize on this. And that's why getting started now is so important, because you can start talking about this business, building the relationships now, learning how to evaluate deals. But you're going to find that this business is a team sport. You're not going to do it by yourself. And there's lots of different hats you can wear in this business. You could be the person finding the deals. You could be the person talking to potential investors. You could be the person that's analytical, doing the underwriting. You could be the person that's process driven, doing the asset management. There's lots of different places you can hang your hat and help with this. Maybe you got some construction background, whatever. There's a lot of places you can come help. So, the key is to learn, enough about the business so you can figure out where you're going to hang your hat. Again, if you come to my boot camp, you'll meet hundreds of people that want the same thing you do, and you can build a team or join somebody else's team to do your first deal or two. And that's how everybody starts, by the way. And, so it's a great opportunity for that. But anyway, and I'm going to say this too, you know, in my 20s, I bought millions of dollars worth of property 50-50 with partners. They put up all the money. They signed on the debt. And those were joint ventures. They weren't even syndications because they were actively involved because they signed on the debt. And there's a lot of people out there that, you know, doctors and wealthy people that know they need to do something with their money, that, you know, if you start building these relationships and you find the deal and you do the work, they'd love to participate. And I did it back then in my 20s when I didn't even know any better. And you can absolutely still do it now. And so, you know, there's lots of ways to do this business. Don't be intimidated by it. But like anything, you've got to learn it. And then whether you learn it from me or not, learn it right now if you're interested. Don't freaking wait. So that's the important piece here is not to wait, because otherwise you're going to miss out on this opportunity, period. You know,
and I know, you know, we try to keep these episodes down to 25 minutes. Rod, you're giving so much value. I know you could, last time you were on the podcast, you were here for over an hour. So I want to respect your time and get us.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Listen, you know, I appreciate you letting me mention the boot camp. You've been 3 times for a reason, you know, you've been 3 times for a reason.
If you didn't mention it.
Right. Yeah. So, you know, but again, whether you learn from me or not, for God's sakes, learn right now. If it's multifamily, you know, if you can't come to Denver, then just try to learn locally, do something to get up to speed right now so you can capitalize on this, because, you know, again, you don't want to miss out. That's all I got to say, because there are deals right now, but they're going to even get better. And so, yeah.
And here's, if you have an issue getting to Denver right now, if you can't spend the $200, like, one, you got bigger problems. Like, you got way bigger problems. You need to solve those immediately, because this opportunity is not gonna stop for you. It's not gonna be waiting for you. The other thing is, Rod created a course on alchemistnation.com. It's free. If you're wondering, hey, does this guy know his stuff? Go and watch he's got 12 videos on there that walk you through why it makes sense to be investing in multifamily. If this just this modern look at the market wasn't enough, go and check out those videos and then register for this event. You can go to rodkhleif.com, go to Bootcamp, register for the event.
Rod in Denver, rodindenver.com. Rod in Denver. Now, here's another thing. If you go to rodslinks.com, you know, what you'll find, like the first hour, Walter knows this, is we do goal setting on steroids, first hour and 15 minutes. Now, if for some reason you can't come, I did that goal setting workshop on New Year's Day this year. I do it every year at the first, and it's on rodslinks.com. There's also a bunch of free books there, my Forbes articles, lots of videos, lots of great free content on rodslinks.com. And so, but that goal setting is there. Do it with your spouse, do it with your kid. If they're over 8 years old, you know, people spend more time planning a freaking birthday party than they do designing their lives. This is designing your life. So again, rodslinks.com, go there, and I'm not going to try to sell you anything. Just go there and take advantage of that resource. It's professionally done with music, and there's a guide you can download to do the goals. It's very, very powerful. You should be doing it a couple times a year, honestly. So that's the first step. So how the hell do you get anything if you don't know what it is? You got to know what you want with clarity, and you've got to know why you want it. And so, yeah, highly encourage you to do that if you can't come to the boot camp.
Wow, huge, Rod. And by the way, I'll say this to anybody: if you can't come to the boot camp, that is a mindset thing. Be there. I used to think back in 2017, when I was spending $10,000 to be at an event, when I was spending $2,000 to be hotels and flights, to be back to back and be in different countries in LA or went out of Orlando or Denver or back to New York or New Jersey. I used to think, oh man, I don't have the money for this. I don't have the money for this. And I would put it on a credit card. And then I would learn so much from, even if it wasn't one of those events, it was 2 or 3 events into, I'd learn something. And that made me 100,000 or 200,000 or 300,000. And that made all of the stress of traveling, all of the, I've got to take time away from my business and all of the time away from my family. It made it worth it, because now I'm a multimillionaire. I've got friends like Rod Khleif who are delivering massive value on the scenes where you get to see it, and off the scenes. You know, we talk to each other, and I get so much value from him, from his wife, from his network, Steve Breton, Matt Pacini.
Do me a favor. Yeah. I want to show something before we end this thing here. Hang on. I'm pulling up a picture. I'm pulling up a picture. Give me the ability to share. And I want to share something here for you guys that are watching. And so I didn't go to college, but there's some of the training I've done. Okay. There's I don't know, there's a couple of hundred lanyards there from events that I've gone to over the years. And of course, to be braggadocious, I'm in front of my Bentley and one of my Mercedes. But the point is, learners are freaking earners. Okay. And this is how you learn and grow. So, just, this is not a do as I say, not as I do thing. This is what I do too. And this is how you make it happen. So anyway, well, appreciate you having me on, brother. It's good to see you. Excited about your event as well. And I'm sure we'll talk soon. Say hi to the boss for me.
We'll see you in Orlando, but I'm going to see you in Denver, brother. I'll fly out there. I'll see you out there. Cheers to success. We have a choice. By the way, Rod, before we go, if you could, in like 30 seconds or less, what are the 3 pieces of advice that you would go back to 20-year-old Rod Khleif and say to him to get you where you are, happier, healthier, and richer? What would those 3 pieces of advice be for a 20-year-old? Just
number one, you've got to get aligned on what you want. You've got to get your goals done. So go to Rod's links and do my goal setting, whether you can come to Denver or not. In fact, I wouldn't wait till Denver. It's a month off. You can do them right now. Go to rodslinks.com, do my goal setting workshop, because you've got to create what Napoleon Hill in his book, Think and Grow Rich, calls a burning desire. You got to want it. Okay. You got to want it bad. You got to know why you want it. That's going to get you to push through fear. That's going to get you to push through limiting beliefs. So that's step 1. Step 2, get freaking educated. Okay. You've got to, whether it's with me or not, don't dabble. Dabblers get their butts kicked. Get out there and educate yourself on whatever you're going to do. If it's multifamily, fantastic. If it's not, then, whatever it is, get educated. Number 3, and then make a decision and take massive freaking action. Action mitigates fear, but you've got to do it. Okay. It's counterintuitive. You just move forward. The fear goes away. Massive freaking action. Keep your eye on the goal. If you hit a speed bump or you hit a wall, keep your eye on the goal and change your approach. If you hit another wall, keep your eye on the goal and change your approach. If you hit another wall, change your approach. That's the secret. Keeping your eye on the goal. All right.
Hell yeah. Rod Khleif, you heard it here. Rod, you are an alchemist, which means you take people out of a place of pain, sorrow, and misery. You move them up into a place of abundance, creation, and opportunity. Cheers to your success. Thank you so much, brother. We appreciate you.
Well said. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Cheers.